Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, January 9th, 2025. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology, Camilo Gonçalves, today presented the 2025 budget estimates, which totaled just over $1.8 billion. This represents a 14.4% increase from the approved 2024 budget. Providing a breakdown of the revenue and expenditure for the year, Minister Gonçalves noted that spending on capital projects is expected to increase.
Budget for 2025 is broken down as follows. Recurrent expenditure, inclusive of amortization and sinking fund contributions, of $1,150,713,466, and current expenditure and capital expenditure, of $698,628,531. Financing for the 2025 budget is expected to come from current revenue of $907,729,320 and capital receipts totaling $943,612,687. The supplementary estimates.
Gonçalves also highlighted that the wage bill will increase by 5.4% this year. Included in this increase is a 2.5% salary increase for teachers.
The 2025 budget for wages and salaries is 5.4% higher than the amount estimated for the wage bill in 2024. The two main reasons for this 5.4% increase are the public sector salary enhancement package, which includes a 2.5% salary increase for 2025. Honorable members will recall that we negotiated with the labor movement and the unions a salary enhancement package spread over 3 years. The first year was 2.5% increase. That was the year 2023. The year 2024, there was a 2% increase, and this year is the final year of that 3-year agreed package, an additional 2.5% salary increase this year. The second reason relates to increases in increments and the additional allowances that go with a number of the positions that were created, and I detailed, Madam Speaker.
Meanwhile, Minister Gonçalves has announced that 91 new positions have been created across various government ministries. The majority of these new positions are within the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of National Security. There are 23 new positions in the Ministry of Health, with the majority being for doctors.
Ministry of Health and the Environment. The majority of those, 20, have been placed under the Hospital Services Program, where there will now be the addition of 1 consultant, 2 senior registrars, 2 registrars, 2 medical officers, and 2 intern ones. Those are all essentially doctor positions. Within recent times, the Ministry of Health has been working on curbing a growing attrition rate, and these positions will help provide some human resource incentive within the ministry, the possibility of upward mobility within them. The ministry will also see the creation of 1 senior radiographer post and a speech and language therapist post.
Gonçalves also added that another 30 new positions have been created in the Ministry of National Security, with most of these positions being for police officers ranging across all ranks.
The majority of these, 26, have been added to the workforce of the police services, or the police force. I know the Honorable Prime Minister prefers the usage of the term police force rather than police services, to assist in increasing the levels of security and safety and to incentivize officers to strive for upward mobility in the police force. The new positions are 1 Assistant Commissioner of Police, 2 Superintendents of Police, 2 Assistant Superintendents of Police, and 4 Inspectors. And these are all added to the upper ranks of the police. In addition, 4 Station Sergeants, 4 Sergeants, and 8 Corporals were added to the ranks outside of the upper ranks of the force.
A minute of silence was observed in the House of Assembly today in honor of former parliamentarian Ken Bowie, who passed away on January 1st. During the obituary segment, several tributes were paid to Bowie for his significant contributions to nation building, including his entrepreneurial spirit.
I have to say how saddened I was with the passing of Ormiston Ken Bowie, business magnate, entrepreneur par excellence, one who made contribution in very many areas. But Ormiston Ken Bowie walked Central Kingston with me to secure my political victory. He will never be forgotten, Madam Speaker. This is somebody who this country must always remember for his contribution in the many fields in which he walked.
And he, Madam Speaker, brought during the mid-80s KFC here. He was well known for his supermarket on Jobs, Radio Shack, other business enterprises that he initiated. Of course, he was a manager at ECGC for a long time. And he, Madam Speaker, exhibited a spirit that we need a lot more of in this country, that is entrepreneurship, willingness to think outside the box, to do things that add to our development, our business community, and create jobs.
Lots of tributes have been paid already publicly to the life and work of Ken Bowie in the areas of business and politics, community involvement, sports, and the like. I, of course, as one of the senior members of the family, I would like to pay tribute to him as my first cousin. His mother was my father's favorite sister, and that was always inculcated in me, and there are reasons which I don't have to repeat here. And Tanti Lita had a special fondness of me, and I want to say that as a member of the family that Ken had a very good innings, and we thank him very much.
Prime Minister Rav Gansab shared that he told Bowie's widow that a grateful nation would accord him an official funeral. He added that discussions are currently underway between Bowie's family and the Cabinet Secretary regarding the details of the funeral arrangements. Members of Parliament also paid tribute to Shelley Clark, who was widely respected for his contributions and leadership in media. They specifically acknowledged his work as the founder of the News newspaper, noting his lasting impact on journalism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
He was a preeminent broadcaster, radio man, hard-nosed newspaperman, and he was editor of the News newspaper up until his death. He is credited with assisting in bringing broadcasting and radio to the public. He was especially good at news, in the newsroom, and also bringing sport to the Vincentian public. I'd like to, at this moment, bring condolences to his family.
Shelley, I was oftentimes on the receiving end of his pen, but that's how the cookie crumbles, Madam Speaker. He's now gone to the great beyond, having made a very substantial contribution. At 7.5 it would have been, I think, at that time, before it became NBC Radio. I hope I have my order correct. When I was also chairman of that radio station.
Supposed to join with my colleague, the member for Central Kingston. He was there at the funeral of Shelley Clark, myself, and him, others who were there to pay tribute. Well, to listen to tributes that I did personally, and also to recognize his contribution to the field of journalism here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and to acknowledge that he did real community service in that profession and set a high standard, and even when we didn't always agree. So to his family members again extend our deepest condolences on behalf of the members of the Honorable House.
Approximately 40 million EC dollars has been spent overall on housing up to December 31st, 2024. This was noted in Parliament today by Dr. Orlando Brewster, the minister responsible for housing, who stated that the figure was provided based on Treasury receipts. Responding to a question from the Member of Parliament for the Southern Grenadines about the total amount spent to date on rebuilding homes in the Southern Grenadines in the wake of Hurricane Beryl, Brewster explained that of the $40 million spent by his ministry, over $15 million was allocated to housing in the Southern Grenadines.
Madam Speaker, I hear the talk about nothing happening in the Southern Grenadines. And everybody had their time to talk. But I have to talk now, and I have to speak the fact of the matter. Madam Speaker, this over 15 million is exclusive of Mr. Ian Waste's contribution to the Southern Grenadines. So the number is more when we talk about the rebuilding of homes. Madam Speaker, we got support in the rebuilding process from Correas. It's not here. We got support from CK Graves, from Sol, to help with materials, but we had to put in the labor. We had to pay for the labor. And Madam Speaker, it is important to recognize that in the Southern Grenadines, the majority of the damage were level 3s and 4s because they receive a significant impact from Hurricane Beryl. And Madam Speaker, the level 3s and 4s, and I said this in this Honorable House before, they are going to take some time for us to rebuild because we assessed before some of the homes we had to categorize as a simple repair. The roof, we could take off the roof, we could fix the roof. When we went in, there's structural damage. So again, we have to go back to the drawing board, reassess, and put them under another level. Madam Speaker, we have spoken this, the Prime Minister and I, we have spoken this extensively in this House.
Brewster further pointed out that to date, a total of 405 homes have either been repaired, rebuilt, or newly constructed in the Southern Grenadines.
Much over 405 homes in the Southern Grenadines. Just 405 is the number. At the close of last year, Madam Speaker, we had ongoing 52 projects at the close of December that we were working on, and those works are continuing as we speak now. Madam Speaker, the level 3s and 4s, HLDC has spent significant time on the ground. They are ready to roll by mid-January with these homes. 85 has been earmarked. They are working on contracts as we speak. So by mid-January, we would see some of the major structures on the level 3s and 4s getting the needed attention. Madam Speaker, I cannot understand why persons at this point in time will say that there's nothing happening in the Southern Grenadines. Madam Speaker,
they are completely irrelevant in the Southern Grenadines.
Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member mentioned that from the supplementary estimates, page 19, project number 302408, it says to purchase building materials for repairs to homes affected by Hurricane Beryl. There was an allocation of $12.5 billion. Madam Speaker, the significant amount of these materials, over half of this amount, was sent to the Southern Grenadines.
While admitting that there have been challenges in the rebuilding process, Brewster emphasized that the government had already acknowledged these difficulties and is actively working to overcome them. He assured Parliament that efforts are ongoing to ensure that the housing needs of all affected communities are met.
Madam Speaker, there are challenges. We said over and over, we have challenges with contractors. Oh, well, PMI was coming to that. Because in order, in any home you build, Madam Speaker, you have to do the land clearing, you have to clean up. If you're building a simple house, you have to clean up, and we had a significant amount of debris after Hurricane Beryl. Madam Speaker, I spoke to the Chief of Braxa this morning because I wanted the timeline as to how long it took for them to clean up, because I hear it bandied about 6 months. Madam Speaker, they forget that we had to clean up the entire Union Island. We had to clean up Myro. We had to clean up Canawan. Nobody mentioned that, you know. Apart of the 6 months, nobody. There's no mention of that within the 6 months. Come on, my honorable friends. Let us not, I know the season is coming. So, Madam Speaker, we had to clean up. Approximately $25 million was spent on the cleanup. Madam Speaker, in order for you to rebuild, you have to get materials into the Southern Grenadines. There's a logistical issue there. You have to purchase material and you have to get it to the Southern Grenadines. And we know the challenges of getting materials to the Southern Grenadines. We know. Everything has to be shipped from the mainland. One of the challenges is the proximity to materials. And we know that. Let us not play with this thing, man. We know how this thing going.
The minister also highlighted that approximately 3.7 million EC dollars has been spent on transporting materials to the Southern Grenadines as part of the ongoing rebuilding efforts. He confirmed that these efforts are progressing with more work to be done. Educators have been encouraged to pray, especially now that school has reopened for the new year and the new school term. This encouragement came from Pastor Al Blake of High Point during his sermon at the Ministry of Education's annual church service today at Faith Temple Church.
Pray for our staff. You are not alone in this journey. You work alongside fellow educators who share the same challenges and triumphs. The power of prayer can foster unity and collaboration among staff members. Matthew 18:20 reminds us that where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he's there in the midst to bless. I ask you, do you pray for your colleagues? Lifting them up in their struggles and celebrating their successes. You cultivate an environment of support and encouragement. Some of you saying, yes, you do even do prayers in your workplaces. So pray. We must. And that needs to come as educators, as teachers, as leaders. You pray with and for your staff and watch God transform your work environment.
Delivering remarks at the annual church service, Chief Education Officer K. Martin Jack said that this is a time to reflect and rejoice, noting that 2024 has brought its own challenges. She urged teachers and students to reflect on the positives and look forward to the new year with optimism.
The true resilience and strength of our education system and indeed our nation come to the fore. Let us take a moment to reflect. Reflect on the unwavering dedication of our teachers who tirelessly adapt to new modes of learning and who adopt new strategies to meet the needs of present-day learners, ensuring that our students continue to receive quality education. Reflect also on the resilience of our students who demonstrate remarkable adaptability and perseverance in the face of unprecedented challenges, both nationally and on a personal level.
Martin Jack also reminded everyone that there is much to rejoice about in the education sector in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Rejoice in the innovative solutions that emerge during these challenging times. The creative use of technology, the forging of new partnerships, and the unwavering commitment to ensuring that every child has access to quality education. Rejoice in the resilience of our students who have not only survived but thrived, demonstrating remarkable growth and achievement. Rejoice in the strength of our community, which rallies together at every opportunity to support our schools and ensure the continuity of education. As we move forward, Let us draw strength from the lessons learned during these challenging times. Let us continue to innovate, adapt, and collaborate to ensure that every child in St. Vincent and the Grenadines receives a high-quality education that prepares them for success in the 21st century.
During the service, several prayers were offered by various pastors who prayed for the youth, the administration, and all stakeholders in education. School choirs also performed songs of worship. Plans are currently underway to separate the public relations and complaints departments within the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. This initiative is aimed at improving the efficiency and effectiveness of each department and enhancing the overall relationship between the police and the public. This was announced by Deputy Commissioner of Police Frankie Joseph during this week's Police Beat program.
Complaints about the police. We have the same persons who are taking the reports and investigating the reports, the police officers. So you have the office that is twin, the public relations and the complaint department. So we are hoping to separate those two offices. You would know that we already locate a building.
Yes.
That we'll be moving to with respect to that. But we will be working on our relation between the police and the public to bring that, because that is very, very important.
Deputy Commissioner Joseph emphasized the importance of not only strengthening the bonds between the police and the public, but also fostering stronger relationships among residents themselves. He explained that while it is crucial for the police to engage with the community in a positive and transparent manner, it is equally important to build trust and cooperation at the grassroots level.
We have to look at whatever program. When I say we, it must be a holistic approach in terms of not only the police, to look at whatever programs that we can look at to ensure that with a conflict resolution and all that good conflict resolution on the curriculum, and not just whenever a principal feel, well, I have some issues in this school, that I would bring in someone to do, a conflict resolution session in a certain form. I think it is time now that we have that as a permanent lesson or lecture on every school curriculum.
The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Fire Department does not only fight fires. It plays a wider range of roles in public safety and disaster management. During an interview on WeFM's Cop Chat program this morning, Corporal Clifford Phillips of the Fire Department explained that their responsibilities extend far beyond extinguishing flames, including efforts to prevent fires and educate the public.
We have many roles as firefighters. Prevention education, in terms of educating the public, sensitizing them on fire awareness, how to identify fire hazard, and fire safety, to practice good fire safety. Also, we respond to emergency and non-emergency as well, in terms of persons who might be trapped in vehicle. We conduct extraction. Also, we would assist those other emergency entity in administering first aid and also packaging victim for transport for further medical intervention. So it's a wide range. Also, inspection of and maintenance of appliance and equipment. Those are our role too as well. We have to make sure that our gears and equipment are working properly, right? And also, as I said, search and rescue, getting persons from born building, and so on.
Corporal Phillips further explained that the leading cause of fires in St. Vincent and the Grenadines over the years has been unattended bushfires. He emphasized that these fires can often be prevented by adopting simple safety measures, such as properly monitoring burn sites and ensuring that fire breaks are in place. He urged the public to be more vigilant, especially during dry seasons, to minimize the risk of bushfires spreading uncontrollably.
Well, we would have seen over the past years that we would have been experiencing a lot of fire, especially in the home, such as cooking, leaving that unattended. Most people tends to the cooking at a high elevated temperature. The stove is high to the level that it was cause a fire. Some people would be cooking and they probably be watching some program on TV and they forget that they have the pot on fire. Also, they would leave the pot there unattended and gone inside the bathroom or say they gone take a nap or something, which would actually lead to a fire as well. And well, there are faulty electrical appliance. Some people are faulty electrical appliance and they don't want to replace them. They believe to themselves, okay, I have this, okay, let me leave it. It would work. So that sometimes can lead to a fire. And you have broken electrical wire too as well.
In addition to their operational duties, Corporal Phillips highlighted the importance of public sensitization. He stated that educating the community on fire prevention and safety remains a key priority for the fire department.
Last year I would have been sent by my superior to Chateaubriand to sensitize I think those members of Red Cross and I guess people from the community about fire safety and fire prevention. And I would have also been sent to Kingston as well as and Sharp side as well to educate the people on that. So I think with education and having that knowledge of identifying the risk factor of fire and so on, it will be able to reduce a lot of these fire. So I think yes, on a larger scale, I think programs, like I said, we have programs in the making to educate the public. So for this year, we are looking to educate a larger mass of people. So it would help us as firefighters and also help the public in reducing the risk of fire.